Hey guys, welcome to another level 1 MCAT prep viewer questions. This one was sent to me in one of the comment sections, so if you do have any questions, drop it in the comment section below or just ask me on my Facebook page. And also don't forget to subscribe just to keep up with the new questions and when the live tutorials are actually on. Okay, so this question here, best way to start this question is to actually draw a diagram. So what I'm going to do is I've got two rectangular gardens that are kind of adjacent next to each other like this. What we also have is the gardener wants the enclosed area to be 350. So that means he wants the whole area of this two gardens to be 350 square meters. And then we've asked what dimension should the gardener use to obtain this area. Now, this was actually sent to me by in a comment section, so I don't know if this is the full part of the question, but this is how I understand this question as. So he's actually got 100 meters of fencing. That means every black line here is a fence. Okay, so that's what I see it as. And the reason I see it as that is because of the word adjacent. That means they're right next to each other, which also I'm assuming that the fence is actually being shared between the two gardens. So that's what I think it is. Anyway, let's have a look at it. So if I take this length here as, I'm going to look at like each, what do you call it? Let's say each rectangle. Yeah, so I'm going to call it each rectangle. So first, let's say this for the rectangle number 1 and 2. So rectangle 1's base, I'm just going to put it as B. Rectangle 2, I'm also going to put it as B. Now rectangle 1's height, I'm going to put it as H, which means rectangle 2's height is also going to be H. I hope you guys can see all of that. And also remember, the 100 meters of fencing is basically, it has to go here, has to go here, has to go here, here, and this middle part here. Okay, so that means we've actually got B for the top part of this fence from here to here. We've got another B here from there to there. So altogether, I hope you guys can see that we've actually got 4B plus 3H, because the first H, I'm running out of colors here, but I'm going to try. The first H is here, the second H is here, and the third H is going to be in the middle here. So we're going to get 4B plus 3H is equal to 100. Now, what we also know is that the area of this whole rectangle is 350. But I'm only going to look at the area of one of the rectangles. I'm only looking at rectangle 1, because then I can just work with 1H and 1B. So rectangle 1 is going to be half of 350, which is 175 meters squared. So I can say that area equals base times height, or 175 equals base times height. Now, I need to actually go back to my fence equation, which is this here. Maybe put that in a different color. This is my fence equation, which is the pink colored one. And what I need to do is write H in terms of B, or write B in terms of H. Now I'm just going to write, let's see, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. You can do either. But I'm actually going to do B. So I'm going to get 4B equals 100. Take away 3H, sorry. And then I can write down 4B equals 100 minus 3H, which means B is equal to 100 minus 3H divided by 4. Now that I've got that, what I can now do is actually substitute B in my area equation. So this part is equal to B, so this entire thing is equal to B. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace B right here for my area equation. So I'm going to get 175 equals 100 minus 3H over 4 multiplied by H. So I'm going to cross multiply the 4. So I'm going to end up with 4 multiplied by 175 equals 100 minus 3H multiplied by H. So 4 times 175, well, we already know 2 times 175 is 350, so it's easy to get to 700. Equals, and then expand the bracket, so we've got 100H, and then we've got negative 3H times H, which equals to negative 3H squared. So rearranging this, I'm bringing everything to the right hand side. 3H squared is going to become positive 3H squared. 100H is going to become minus 100H. and then we've got 700, which is going to be this. So what we now need to do is we need to actually use quadratic. Well, we got to factorize this quadratic and get two solutions for it. So the way I do this is I go 3 times 700, which is 2100. So I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to 2100 and add up to -100. Now, in this case, like we've got to know our times table, guys. So 21, we can see that it's actually 7 and 3. So in this case, I'm actually going to have 2100. Then it's going to be -70 times -30, because -70 plus -30 equals -100. So I'm going to split up the -100h as, what do we got? Just going to get a different colored pen here. No, I'm just going to leave it as it is. -70h minus 30h plus 700 equals to 0. So what I've done is I've actually split the -100h here as -70 and -30. And then what I can do is I can actually factorize by parts. So my first part is my left hand side, which is going to be 3h, which I've got h minus, well actually I can't do 3h because 3 is not a factor of 70, so I can do h. So I'm going to get 3h minus 70 inside. And then as for the right hand side, I've got -10, because that's going to be 3h minus 70 equals to 0. And now I can see that 3h minus 70 is a common factor for both of these expressions. So I can write this as 3h minus 70 multiplied by h minus 10 equals to 0. Now, if you're wondering, the h came from here and the -10 came to here. So what we have is 3h minus 70 equals to 0, or h minus 10 equals to 0. And in my first case, I've got 3h is equal to 70, and then h is equal to 70 divided by 3. And in my second case, I've got h is equal to just +10. So those are my two answers for the height of the rectangle. Not, I should have really said not height, but height of this rectangle. But now let's see, what dimension should the gardener use to obtain this area? So what we have is we've actually got two answers. H could be 10, or H could be, let's just see, I'm going to take this equation right here. B is 100 minus 3h over 4. So what's B equals 100 minus 3h over 4. So what I've got is I've got two dimensions. My first one is when h is equal to 70 over 3. I'm going to find out what B is. So B is going to be 100 minus 3 times 70 over 3. And the whole thing is divided by 4. And I'm going to get 100 minus, both 3's cancel out. Got 70 over 4, which is going to give me 30 over 4, which equals to 7.5. That's one answer. So my second answer then would be h is equal to 10. So I've got B is equal to 100 minus 3 times 10 divided by 4. So I'm going to get B is equal to 100 minus 30 over 4. And so the base is equal to 70 over 4, which is going to give me 17.5. So if we look at the full dimension of it, because remember, we only calculated B, right? So, and remember, there was actually two B's at the base of that garden. So this one will have 15, because 7.5 times 2 for the base, and the height would be 70 over 3. Or your second option is that the base is 17.5 and 17.5, which is 35, and then your height is actually 10. And if you think about it, 35 times 10 is 350. And also remember that if you add it up, so that top part will become 35, 10, and 10. And if you look at it, all these numbers also add up to 100. And that's the same thing for this case as well. So you've actually got two answers for this particular question. All right, guys, I know it was slightly long, but it was a really good question. It looked fairly easy, but then as we started working on it, it was a lot more to that question than what we originally thought. But that's basically it for this little question. As always, don't forget to like and share this video, and don't forget to subscribe. There should be heaps of playlists popping up soon with lots and lots of revision material for you guys. But that's basically it. Thank you for watching.